You're trying to create art and the world is ending. Let's talk about it. Or at least that's what it feels like. Every day is something new, a crisis, a disaster, an executive order. And in the middle of all of this, we're expected to create, to make music, to be funny, to paint, to write stories, to shoot films. Like any of it matters. It kind of feels absurd. Because even if we find the motivation to make something, it still feels pointless. The world doesn't care. Society doesn't care. The algorithm doesn't care. And maybe that's the most frustrating part. Like, not that everything feels doomed, but that even if you do create, the system is set up to make sure no one sees it. Like, we've literally handed over our creativity to algorithms. A machine now decides if your work is worth seeing. It doesn't matter how much time you put in, how much soul you poured into it. If it doesn't fit the formula, it's invisible. It's like screaming into a void, and it makes you wonder, like, what is even the point of trying? But let's think. Maybe the algorithm isn't even the biggest problem. Maybe the real issue is us. Because even before our work gets ignored, we have to actually make it. And that's where we get stuck. We convince ourselves that we'll start tomorrow or next week or when I finally have the perfect idea. But deep down, we know the truth. It's not that procrastination is laziness. It's really fear. Fear that the project won't be good enough, that we won't be good enough, or that we'll just flat out waste our time. And if we never start, we never have to prove ourselves right about that. And even if you do create, it's never enough for society unless it's profitable. We're told that art is only valid if it makes money. If you paint, you need to be selling prints. If you love photography, where's your business page? If you're a musician, why aren't you on streaming services? Somewhere along the way, we stopped believing art could exist to just exist. That it could just be for us, not for likes, not for engagement, not for a paycheck. And now if it doesn't fit into capitalism, if it doesn't perform well, it's a waste of time. And for the people like me, people who want to do everything, it's even worse, bruh. Like, one day I want to make films, next day I want to write, then I want to make music, then I want to stream. I have so many ideas, and instead of choosing one, I just end up doing nothing. And I fear that I won't get anything done at all. It's like being stuck in an endless loop of possibility. And the longer I wait, the more I convince myself that I'll never actually accomplish anything, or that I'm too late starting everything. But I mean, maybe that's what they want, though, for us to just stop, for us to believe that if it isn't profitable, if it isn't viral, if it isn't seen, then it doesn't matter. But imagine a world where everybody just stopped. No music, no stories, no painting, no films, no poetry, nothing, just silence. It'll be fucked up. Let me not say that. It would be pretty boring, to say the least. So maybe the problem isn't that we're lost. Maybe we're just out of alignment. Like, we're trying to force ourselves into a system that was never meant for artists, measuring our creativity by numbers, engagement, and profitability instead of intuition, joy, and purpose. When you align yourself, when you quiet the noise and reconnect with why you started and trust that every step is leading somewhere, you start to realize that you were never supposed to do everything at once. Like, the path literally unfolds when you take the first step. And maybe the world is ending, but if you're here, if you're breathing and you're feeling that pull to create, then you're meant to. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be seen by millions. It just has to be yours. And when you live in your true purpose, everything is provided to you to continue doing that. If money is what you need, the money will come. If the engagement is what you need to continue to live in your purpose, then it'll come naturally. If equipment or likes is what you need, then it'll come naturally. So just vibe. Keep creating with what you do have. Stop waiting until you have the perfect equipment, the perfect idea, like, trust yourself. Trust your vision. Trust the process. Stay focused, bro. Stop queuing up for Marvel Rivals comp and losing 5 games in a row when you could have easily been editing that video, bro. Like, lock in, okay? I love y'all. Stay real.